after leaving the school that I served at 12 Plus, I was able to kind of connect, friend my students from the schools. And then students would message me saying, I'm so proud of you. And that's different, you saying it to a student.
Yes, but when a student saying it to you.
Student says it to you.
You know exactly.
Like, I'm doing something good. Because students, just youth in general, they know when you're not real. They catch fake people like, if you're fake, like you're out. And to be able to build that meaningful relationship with them and for them to trust you, but also respect you and look at you as a mentor and also a friend, and then be able to say that to you, I think was one of my biggest accomplishments.
Yo, Philly, listen up to all our small business owners.
Not just our small business owners, also our entrepreneurs, our creators, our dreamers, our doers.
This is Small Business Saturday. Every week we're dropping knowledge about small businesses. Man, you know what? Just listen to the podcast.
But we try to do a cool intro. But however, we promise the podcast, we will be dropping gems. We will be dropping knowledge. We will be dropping the tools you need to succeed in your small business.
All right, so every week, every Saturday, stay tuned with Small Business Saturday.
Let's get it.
I put on for my city, on for my city. I put on for my city, on for my city.
Okay, everyone, we're back at it again with yet another episode of Small Business Saturdays. We are excited to have Tu Pham with us. She is the owner and co-founder of Cafe Roasters. Cafe Roasters is the first and only Vietnamese specialty coffee roasters in Philadelphia. And they also roast coffee from Southeast and East Asian regions. Their mission is to share the value community across all cultures through their coffee. And not just that, what's amazing is that a significant portion of their profits are donated to 12 Plus, which is a local educational nonprofit that partners with under-resourced public high schools to increase educational equity. Jobs will also be offered at the roastery to 12 Plus students. Oh my God, that's amazing. Guys, I'm reading the intro, but I'm just like falling in love with her as I'm reading the bio. I'm definitely excited. We'll be offering jobs to roast, at the roastery to 12 Plus students to support their personal and professional development.
Boom.
The what? The owning. Yay! We're glad to have you. Sorry guys, I got so excited as I was reading her intro. So yeah.
I like the intro. Too. Let's hear it from your side.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell us your story.
Okay, so my name is Tu Pham, and I actually used to work at 12 Plus, the educational nonprofit that Delilah mentioned in the intro. And I was first a fellow there and then a site coordinator, where I managed a team to kind of do all the frontline work in the school, where we did the college and the career access for the students. So the anchor of that program was the relationship building. So we made sure that we really built a personal connection to each and every single student. And that really helped us to kind of guide them and mentor them through their post-secondary plans. And ultimately, we wanted every single senior to graduate with some type of plan. Whether it was a gap year, totally fine. If it was a 2-year school, a 4-year school, a technical school, whatever it is, as long as you have a plan and we talk about it,
Because many of them don't, I'm guessing.
A lot of them, just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And it really just starts with a conversation, and a conversation with somebody who they know is invested in them.
Yes.
So that's what I did for 2 years at 12 Plus. And then now I'm actually managing Cafe Roasters. So I am the head roaster there, and also creating student programming for the students. Once they're integrated into our business, we're gonna create jobs for them. So they're gonna have a roasting apprenticeship, so they'll learn how to operate the commercial coffee roaster.
That's amazing.
Roast coffee, they'll learn how to taste coffee, kind of build their palate, cup coffee, and that's kind of like a technical term, but maybe we can get into that later. Handle the social media accounts, which is a big thing for businesses, as you guys know. And then managing the wholesale partners program that we have, and a bunch of other different types of jobs that we'll create later. But that's what I'm doing these days.
So before, people are like, oh, how'd you go from, the nonprofit to doing what you're doing now? I believe I read that you were working for the nonprofit, and then you saw there was like an opening for some type of job competition, and then you decided to apply for it, and you worked with the owner of the nonprofit for it, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep.
So can you talk about that, like what made you want to apply, and then why the coffee?
Yep. Yeah, so...
Which I'm drinking right now, by the way. It is absolutely delicious.
I've got the iced coffee.
So I think October 2017 was when the competition was released by Shift Capital,
Yes.
and it was called the Kensington Avenue Storefront Challenge, and they were looking for makers, creators, entrepreneurs, nonprofit organizations, just anyone who was interested in revitalizing the Kensington neighborhood. So they were looking for those people to create a business plan, and then we would kind of pitch it. It was kind of like a mini Shark Tank kind of competition. And that competition was founded by Raymond John, who is the CEO of 12 Plus, and also another business partner who...
Wait, really?
Another person, yep.
I don't know that.
Another person. He also contributed a lot to 12 Plus and kind of founded the nonprofit with Ray. They always had a dream of opening up a coffee shop. You know, they had other ideas, you know, to kind of create social enterprises that funneled money into 12 Plus and make it easier for a nonprofit to kind of do the work that they do.
Yes.
And 12 Plus always wanted to expand into more schools, but you know, the issue is always money.
Yes.
The constant grant applications that you have to do, and just the money that is kind of the driver to if you're able to help students or not, you know. So they were kind of just bouncing ideas off of each other, you know, like let's do a coffee shop. But the question was, how are we going to make ourselves different from any other coffee shop in Philadelphia, you know? And with this third wave kind of specialty coffee thing in this
It's big.
world,
I love coffee.
You're like, hey, I have an idea.
you know, like there's kind of that expectation that we have to brew coffee a certain way, roast coffee a certain way, or cater to a certain kind of market. And I was thinking, because he kind of brought that idea to me about the coffee shop, I was like, you know, like what about we do something related to Vietnamese coffee? Because there's a whole culture and tradition and method behind Vietnamese coffee.
Had you had Vietnamese coffee before?
Right now, which is amazing.
No, before that.
No, honestly, I haven't.
I think I had once, and I remember like the sweet.
No.
I had it in like the ice version that I had. It's delicious.
So what makes Vietnamese coffee so unique is that it's brewed in this kind of pseudo espresso apparatus, and it's called a phene. So there's a chamber, you add the coffee ground in there, and then you tamp it down, and you put that over a cup with condensed milk. You can drink it black as well, but it tastes much better with some sweetness.
Yeah.
And then you pour water on top of the chamber, and it drips real slow. So it's about 4 or 5 minute kind of brew time, but the coffee, the way that it's roasted, it's super strong. The coffee is different from kind of third wave specialty coffee in that it's Robusta beans.
It soaks up a lot.
Robusta beans are different from Arabican beans. So Robusta beans are harvested earlier, and they're grown at lower altitudes, whereas Arabican beans, what third wave coffee shops use, are grown in higher altitudes, and they're cared for more. They take a longer time to grow. Harvest times are very specific.
Are they like more rare or like expensive or anything?
It's more expensive.
Definitely,
So
okay.
Robusta beans, you can kind of push it out real fast because there's such a demand.
Yeah.
And Vietnam is actually the second largest producer and exporter of coffee, right after Brazil. That's something that we wanted to kind of highlight as well. But going back to the method of brewing the Vietnamese coffee, it's really unique because when you order it at a restaurant, like a pho restaurant, or if you have it at home, it takes so long to brew that it kind of forces you to be a little bit more present.
Yes.
You know, because you're waiting for that really luscious cup of coffee to be made, and it kind of forces you to engage with your whoever's at the table, you know, or even your environment. And that's something
So
that
it's not mindlessly done. It's just
and that's something that we really want to share with different cultures. You know, like your coffee doesn't always have to be like on the go, convenient, like right away. It can also be something that you can be present with.
Yes.
That's something we want to share and highlight.
I love that.
What's the name of the bean type again?
Robusta.
Robusta.
So there's two kind of varieties of coffee. So there's Robusta and Arabican beans.
So I'm learning stuff.
I am, and look, I'm not really that much of a coffee drinker.
Okay.
I'll drink like iced coffee or anything, which would be like all weather, but I'll drink it if I know like, okay, I have a lot of work to get done. I'll do it because I have to. But this coffee, and I'm not even trying to sell it because you're here right now,
Plug.
but look, it's already gone. This coffee.
Fill her up.
This coffee seriously is absolutely delicious. And I'm not a coffee drinker. And no, it's really, really good. Like, wow.
Right. And something that, like happens at some, third wave coffee shops is that you're kind of expected, or you kind of feel it on the side, people looking at you as you put your cream and your sugar. But the condensed milk is so kind of vital in a Vietnamese cup of coffee that, we kind of want people to not feel shameful of drinking their coffee.
So you were saying you were looking for, a profitable idea that's something that's like topical and relevant that also connects with you and Raymond as well, right?
Yep.
And for the listeners, you're both Vietnamese, right? From there?
No,
or?
so I am a Vietnamese American.
Okay.
So I actually was born in the Philippines. So my family was a refugee family, and we were actually headed to California, and California was kind of one of very few states in the United States where refugee families could go to and find asylum. And we were on the way to California, and my mom actually was in labor with me. So we made a stop in the Philippines. So I was born there, and we lived there for about a month, and then we headed to California. But Ray is Korean, our other business partner.
Okay.
He's also Korean.
Okay.
But yeah, that's one reason why that we didn't want to just specifically focus on Vietnamese coffee, but all Asian coffees, even teas, because I think that kind of tradition and community engagement is a value amongst Asian kind of beverage industry.
Got it. So what brought you to Philly? Well, I guess both of you.
So I myself moved to Philly when I was 4.
Okay.
I moved to Philly when I was 4 and was raised in Albany. I'm still in Albany. I'm super proud to be the O. And Raymond actually is from Northern Virginia. And he came to Philly because he went to University of Pennsylvania.
Nice.
And our other business partner was also an undergraduate at University of Pennsylvania.
Very cool.
So how'd you get into the education system? So I know you were working, was that prior to you working at the nonprofit? Were you always invested or?
Nope.
And look at you now.
So I actually went to college for psychology.
Okay.
And I minored in marketing.
Yes.
So I was going to go into market research. So the year before I entered 12 Plus, I'm applying for my MBA, and I was super close, like this close. I can't even show you right now.
To go
this
for
close
it.
to like go for it, and submit my application. I had my recommendations, and I paid for the GMAT. I took it, and I was so close, but during the entire application process, I was like, this is just not what I want to do.
Right.
But I don't know what I want to do. But I knew about 12 Plus already for 2 years.
How long has it been around?
12 Plus?
Yeah.
And it's a 7th year now.
Okay.
And I knew about 12 Plus for about 2 years. And it's really interesting how I knew about 12 Plus was that I used to go to an SAT academy when I was in high school, owned by this great individual named Jason Min, and he moved to California and was looking for somebody to kind of take over the SAT academy. So that's where Raymond came in. So Raymond took over the SAT academy, and that academy also funnels money into 12 Plus.
There it is.
But the whole connection is that Jason Min, he's a musician, so he was asked by Raymond to do the music for one of their 12 Plus videos called Project Flight. And I hope you guys can link this later. Yes. It's beautiful, and I would rewatch it. It was kind of weird because it was about a student, a student.
It's a music video?
No, it's kind of like it's a poem with one of our students from Kensington who starred in it.
So it's like a story?
Kind of a story about the
Okay.
student's application process and the neighborhood that he grew in and how he kind of took flight after he
Is
was
this Kensington High School or?
Kensington Health Sciences Academy, across the
Okay.
street from Kensington High School.
Got it. Okay, that's good.
And yeah, I would rewatch that video like whenever I was feeling like, I don't know, like just not right.
Yeah.
And it made me feel right. And I knew at that time that the application was just released for the Fellows Initiative. So I kind of took a stab at it. I was like, let's just see.
Look at that.
I'm gonna apply. And fellows are basically the frontline workers in the schools. So they're stationed in the schools. They would do, college and career readiness workshops, time management workshops, financial literacy workshop. But the best part about what they do is that they build these relationships with students and really have those conversations with them, meaningful conversation, and help them kind of navigate what their plans are after high school. So yeah, I applied. I got accepted, and I was like, I'm doing it.
Yes.
Forget this MBA application. I'm doing it. So I took it was April at that time where I got accepted, and school starts in, the training started in August, but that time in between, I really took time to kind of learn about 12+ more and kind of the educational landscape of Philadelphia.
Yes.
So yeah, that's how I got connected to 12+.
It's powerful, just kind of how one step led to another, and how basically you're giving back with what you're doing right now with your business. So I have a background in education too. So I used to work for Cousins and Kappa. I mean, what was that?
She's like, girl, hold on.
Well, it was an after school program. I used to be one of their after school program.
What was the program?
I was in charge of the fashion club. It was affiliated
Go
with.
figure.
It was affiliated with Congreso, and Congreso.
You worked at Congreso.
Oh, really? That's awesome. So yeah, they funneled the leaders for each program. So I was in charge of Cousins and Kappa, and then from there, I used to my previous job. I was a family community events coordinator for a charter school as well in North Philadelphia.
Awesome.
And so I have deep connections with helping the youth, and just even utilizing my own resources to just try to how can we provide access and more tools to the youth in Philadelphia in general, especially those that are constantly overlooked.
Yeah.
So I'm just I'm falling in love with you as I'm hearing you speak, and I just love the fact that you design your entire business plan to not just only monetize, obviously, which is the overall goal, but how am I giving back? So businesses like yours especially matter to any community, especially to our Philadelphia community. So kudos to you. I'm so proud of you for everything that you're doing. So if you guys didn't get that, with what she's doing with her business, as we mentioned in the intro, she's making sure that she's developing plans to incorporate the youth from urban city neighborhoods, especially. She's providing jobs opportunities to them. She's providing on-site training, workshops, and this is great that you're giving too. So and you're listening now, of course, make sure you find out more about Cafe Roasters, and just you're supporting the business in general.
Thank you.
Talk to us a little bit about the business itself, because I know starting any business, can be a lot of work.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed from a lot of small business owners that are specifically small business owners, it's them combining passion with a skill set or some sort of experience, and then just doing what they love kind of every day. But there's a lot that goes along with that. So what were some of the first steps to starting the company?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say it was technically easy or smooth, but I would say that it was easier than any other story that I've heard because of Shift Capital. And Shift Capital was, the socially driven real estate company that launched the Kensington Avenue Storefront Challenge, and that we won.
Talk to us about that challenge a little bit. I know you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, we mentioned this earlier, but we did enter that contest with the idea of Cafe Roasters. We initially were going to launch a storefront.
So they need a business plan, and it's got to be retail footprint.
Right. So we submitted that. We did 2 pitches, and then we won. So we were one of 9 finalists, and the awardees were given the benefit of financial, technical, and logistical support.
That's awesome.
So they really helped us with our lease. They were so compromising. They gave so much room to us to kind of figure out what we wanted, what we needed, short-term and long-term.
Yeah.
And I think that's really because our missions both aligned. Our business plan really is to, give back to this community.
Right.
Just like how their business plan is to kind of revitalize the Kensington area. So yeah, they've stuck with us, since the very beginning.
Yeah. Very triple bottom line too, because you guys you do 3 things. So with that competition itself, it's they want new businesses, retail footprint in there that looks and is visually appealing and bring back the neighborhood, but also has another mission on top of that. But then yours has another mission on top of that because not only are you providing jobs, but you're providing education and like next level career benefits.
Right, and I think another reason why, I don't want to kind of toot our horn or anything, but like
Toot it.
Toot it.
you know, like I'm a Vietnamese American. In Kensington, there's a huge community of Vietnamese people who've kind of dedicated their lives to, you know, serve the Kensington neighborhood. So there's, you know, Cafe Gat Tan Tan, there's Tan Long, you know, pho restaurants, there's hair cutteries that are owned by Vietnamese people who have been there for so long. And I think once we mentioned that we want to kind of celebrate the Vietnamese heritage in Kensington, they were kind of like, yes, there's this other community that we kind of want to celebrate as well. So that's one thing, and you know, they've just been super supportive.
That's so good.
You know, any questions that we have, any problems that we have, they're on it. They're super on it.
So you won the money and you already had a spot in mind. It's got to be part of like a certain area.
So initially they had storefronts right under the Market Frankfurt line.
Oh yeah.
Under Kensington
I know
Avenue.
what you're talking about.
But they had a space in Macon Studios North. So that building used to be Jomar that Shift Capital took over and renovated, and it's a space for makers, hence the name Macon. So there's a space in there that we could kind of have our coffee roastery. So they were thinking that we could be under the Kensington app if we were interested in doing a cafe.
Yeah.
But because we kind of switched our business a little bit and decided to focus more so on the roasting part of coffee first and kind of develop a wholesale client line.
So you guys more B2B and not B2C.
Yep.
Is there a cafe in it? Is there cafe presence? No.
No,
Okay.
no cafe presence. But I can make you coffee if you come.
If you come in there.
How can people purchase your coffee?
So there'll be actually on shelves of local kind of businesses. So we're in contact with a few businesses actually right around here.
Right in here? It's a good area.
They're owned by Asians. So that's kind of one thing that I wanted to make sure that I was doing was that I was helping other Asian Americans or immigrants.
Rotate the dollars within your community.
There you go.
Can you give me a cold brew keg in here? Just like
For sure.
Now, is there on your, because you're working on your website right now, correct?
Working on our website.
So on the website, will you have locations where your coffee will be located, or how can people know which stores to go to purchase your coffee?
Yeah, so one kind of marketing plan that I had, or strategy that I had, was once we kind of solidify our relationships with our wholesale partners, is that we're going to highlight their business on our social media.
Great.
So that people can know where to find our coffee, but also, you know.
Because I need to know. I need more of this coffee. I'm just saying.
She's hooked.
I'm telling you, I don't drink coffee, but this one, it kind of reminds me of my grandma's coffee.
Yeah.
So that's, it's just kind
That's
of
your tagline.
Yeah. There we go.
No, because I have a couple of Hispanic friends who've tasted this coffee.
Yeah.
So this is what my grandma makes out.
Yes, I'm telling you, this is not the coffee that I taste. Like, I try to purchase coffee, like, because, everyone does it. They, everyone that's, like, busy, they always want to have a cup of coffee in their hand. Look, makes them look even more busy or So sometimes, subconsciously, I'm just like, let me just buy a coffee.
Yeah.
And then I'll buy it. I'm like, okay, this is disgusting. It's sending me to the bathroom. Like, but this one, I'm like, okay, I will actually buy this.
Cup of coffee.
Yeah, and like the only coffee I will really drink will be when my grandmother makes it, and
Some
we have like
stovetop, right?
on stovetop, dip some bread in it, and have like a fried egg on the side or something.
Yeah.
But this is what it reminds me of.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I'm just your promo girl.
So the name itself, Cafe,
Yep, the name is Cafe Roasters.
and that's Vietnamese, you said, right?
So directly translated, cafe means coffee in Vietnamese, but
Okay.
it also signifies this value of community. And you can see it actually very well and very visibly when you go to kind of the streets of Vietnam. So if you Google pictures of Vietnam, the streets of Vietnam right now, the first thing that you'll see is people sitting outside of restaurants or just buildings in general on stools and with low tables, and there'll just be Vietnamese coffee dripping, and they're drinking that like 6 a.m.
So coffee's really big in Vietnam?
It's really big in Vietnam.
And it's the second biggest exporter, you said?
Second biggest producer and exporter.
Producer,
of
okay,
coffee.
wow.
And it's a huge part of their culture. So
Always wired.
all the time.
There you go.
It's the way that everything works in Vietnam. It's a communist country,
Yeah.
so they're working real hard. And it starts with a cup of coffee, a strong cup of coffee.
So you've only been in business, you said, less than a year now, right?
Less than a year. We actually moved into Macon Studios North, our roasting facility, where our roasting facility is at December. Yeah.
So what would you say has been some of your biggest challenges since launching your business, or like some of the biggest like things you've learned from?
Yeah.
Wow.
Give it to us.
You can specify one going into the coffee industry and just like a generic one too. Like,
Okay.
Something some of me experience.
The reason why I'm like hesitating is because I feel like
You've had a lot of support.
we've had so much support from Shift Capital. But
Plug.
I get Stuart, man. Primary.
Sponsored by.
Personally, I think I was just a little bit afraid entering kind of this third wave specialty coffee world, because I was afraid that, the people in the industry already weren't going to be accepting of us. I'm Asian, I'm a person of color, I'm a female.
Yeah.
I don't have too much experience with coffee, roasting coffee specifically. And I was just really learning things on my own, reading YouTube. Going on coffee forums. I felt like, I don't know, a kid again, you would go on forums and just like chat shakers online.
Y'all try this Vietnamese coffee?
But I would read them because, and they would date back to like 2010, but I wanted to learn kind of the history of the Vietnamese coffee, like what people's perception of the coffee was. And I think it was just a fear that I had. But, going into this, I think when we did our 3-month pop-up, we did a 3-month pop-up at 600 Spring Garden.
Yes.
600 Spring Garden used to be a really renowned bank built by this famous architecture. I forgot your name. Architecture. But it was then turned into a nightclub called The Bank. And then Arts and Crafts.
That's where the PNC is, right?
Yep. So it's right in front of the PNC across from Trilogy.
Yep.
So Arts and Craft bought that building. They were going to move their offices to 600 Spring Garden upstairs, but there was this huge space on the bottom that I guess they didn't know what to do with. Actually, Shift Capital, Stuart, who is our biggest supporter and really helped us with our release, he reached out to us and connected us to Little Giant Creative.
Very great. Yeah, I love that. I worked with them.
This brand agency in Philadelphia, and they were going to do a 3-month-long exhibit in that space downstairs of 600 Spring Garden, and the exhibit was called A Dream Deferred.
Yes, I read about that.
Yep, so it really talked about like the past, the present, and the impending kind of doom of racial systemic policies that's happening in our city. They integrated art, they integrated technology into it, but there was a bar area that was left from the club. So they were like, let's have a cafe. Let's have a cafe. And, we got connected to them, and they were just like, yes, like, let's do this, And so we had a pop-up cafe there, along with Kyle from Darnell's Cakes. I want to introduce you to him later, but he's awesome because Kyle Scott plug. He owns Darnell's Cakes. So he, was I think in marketing.
Okay.
From Temple, and he was just doing corporate work, and then his cousin passed away from AIDS, and they did this fundraiser for his cousin, and they were just doing baked goods, and it really hit. Like, people loved his stuff. So he decided to kind of forego his corporate job and kind of launch this business called Darnell's Cakes.
Is this someone? They're vegan?
He does some gluten-free products, but yeah,
I feel like he may or may not have been at an event that I was at.
He does a lot of catering events.
Yeah, I think
a lot of catering events. He looks like Michael B. Jordan, if you're.
Is he always like really fashionable?
He's super fashionable.
Okay, okay.
Super tall, slim.
Ladies.
He's awesome. Sorry.
No. Gentlemen.
Let me get an introduction.
He's awesome. He also has some culinary experience as well, and we partnered together at the 600 Spring Garden space. But there at that pop-up, we learned a lot. Like we were able to kind of test our product because it was the early kind of stages of our business, and it was just a really great solid time to test our product, make sure that customers were actually liking the flavor profiles that I was kind of putting together, because it was such a kind of new thing to me and also a new thing to the community.
Yes.
And we got really great feedback, and I was able to kind of mess around with the profile and figure out the solidified kind of blend for our coffee. So I mean, that pop-up, I wouldn't say it was hard, but it happened earlier than I expected.
Yeah.
Because usually pop-ups are like a few hours a day, but it was a 3-month-long commitment that I feel so blessed that I had the opportunity to kind of be a part of. And that was also...
And that's so good right at the beginning too, so you're able to like take feedback from your consumers, like how can we make this better? What are we doing wrong at?
Yep. And at that time I launched a social media accounts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and we got a really, really, really solid following from that pop-up. So...
Were there any setbacks or struggles with like building out the retail space or...
The roastery?
Yeah.
So there, I guess, with any new kind of construction project, there are going to be delays. So there were just, some minor delays because things were being back ordered. But, who are we to complain when we've been supported so much?
Yeah.
So...
For those looking to start something similar to this, would you have any like recommendations or anything they should be thinking about?
I think, let's see. I think it was much easier for us to kind of navigate the whole construction project because Ray had an architecture friend who he was kind of able to talk to and figure out kind of how to make things more cost effective. Is his floor plan looking good? And then our other business partner is a lawyer, so he was able to kind of deal with all the documents and kind of making us an entity, making sure all those stuff is finalized and we're legally operating in Philadelphia. So I think any business should really have a lawyer.
Right.
Or just somebody who they can consult with.
Yes.
But I would say definitely talk to somebody who has gone through the construction process, because the construction team can put a floor plan together and they put it out in a way, because they work with the architecture, they put it out in a way that visibly looks well, and sometimes they will try to find the most cost-effective things for your space, but sometimes they don't have a lot of time because they have a lot of projects, so they're just finding things fitting your space. But there are a lot of kind of ways for you to reduce your costs, your build-out costs, and I think it just finding people who are in those fields in architecture, somebody who's a lawyer to kind of consult with, was really helpful.
Yeah. How do you market and grow your business?
Wow. So we right now just have our Instagram and our Facebook. Our website should be done by the end of this month. But for our kind of feed on our social media stuff, I do most of it. And I have a friend who is a student at Temple. She just loves taking pictures and making videos. So she spends a lot of time just coming into her space, kind of building what our brand should look like. And we kind of make sure we post something every single week. And I just found that Instagram is so vital. I mean, you guys reached out to me through Instagram.
Right.
A lot of other businesses have also kind of reached out to me through Instagram.
Yeah.
So that's something that you shouldn't really neglect.
Well, I was going to say, like being B2B, it's like different from a lot of B2C, which is focused a lot on social media. So I know B2B, if you're doing sort of wholesale, is there a lot of cold calling? Are you sending out flyers? Is it like word of mouth?
So I'm actually reaching out to people through Instagram.
Yes.
Because what I found is that a lot of business owners use Instagram.
Yes, they do.
They use it all the time. And we also are being connected from our followers. So one of our followers, this guy named Ted Niem, plug, he found out about us through Instagram. So he's a photographer. That's not his full-time gig, but he loves photography, and he took pictures of us during our pop-up. And when he posted it on his feed, his kind of network found an interest in us.
Okay.
So that's how we got connected to other kind of organizations or businesses in Philadelphia. One thing that we are in the talks with is Weckerly's ice cream. So we're working with them, collaborating with them to kind of release Vietnamese coffee ice cream.
Infused.
Oh, wow.
So that was really through TED, you know. And then meeting with Andy from Weckerly's, he was able to connect us with other businesses in Philadelphia so that we could kind of get our coffee on those retail shelves.
Mm.
What do you think's been your biggest accomplishment so far with this business?
Wow, that's hard. Because I
Yeah,
feel like every day.
your community in general is huge. Like you said, and you're the first of it's the first of its kind here in Philadelphia. That's something to not take lightly. I know it can be a little intimidating at first because it's just like, is this going to be successful or not since it's never been done before? So, I mean, me personally, I salute you for just kind of, you know, putting yourself out there and taking that leap of faith.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
But I do think that our biggest accomplishment is that I think I'll bring back a moment in that, you know, after leaving the school that I served at 12 Plus, you know, I was able to kind of connect, you know, friend my students from the schools. And then students would message me saying, I'm so proud of you.
Oh.
And that's different, you know, you saying it to a student.
Yes, but when a student says
When
it
the
to you,
student says it to you,
you know exactly
like,
how that feels.
I'm doing something
You're the kids think I'm the
good. Because, you know, students, just youth in general, they know when you're not real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they catch fake people like, if you're fake, like, you're out. And to be able to build that meaningful relationship with them and for them to trust you, but also respect you and look at you as a mentor and also a friend, and then be able to say that to you, I think was one of my biggest accomplishments.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
Boom.
I am, how old am I? I'm 25.
Wow, you hear? She's 25 years old. She's doing all of this. Oh my lord, that's amazing.
You got to do it, young girl.
No.
We're running out of energy already.
I'm gonna bring in the grades early, but it's okay. No, that's great because a lot of people they still think like they won't do this until like their 30s or 40s. So the fact that you're doing all of this and you're mid-20s, it's amazing. I can only imagine where you're gonna be at when you're in your 30s. Wow.
But I think again, it's really because of the support of capital and also my team. You know, Greg and the business partner are so, and you know, intelligent and talented and have so many skills that it made it easier for me, you know, to kind of head this roastery and really focus on bringing in the students at some point because I'm missing that a lot.
Yeah.
Like working with the students every single day, and when you don't have that anymore, it's like, God, you took something away from me, you know? And you know, your days are better when you see a student, and I don't think you could ever kind of feel that until you're in the schools.
Trust me, I know exactly how that feels.
Yep.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Shout out to 20-something girls doing great things.
Just kidding, I'm 30.
Wait, really?
No. I'm 25.
I guess getting into entrepreneurship and sort of just to round this out, you know, you, I guess, being kind of new of being a business owner and entrepreneur, one question I like to ask is like, what is the hardest thing and what is the best thing?
I think the hardest thing is, to just really go for it, meaning, you know, take a risk in that if you're trying to solicit or build a partnership or relationship with potential clients or just your community in general, just go for it. You know, if they don't like you or they're not interested, whatever, at least your name's out there. You know, because there's some good people out there. There's a lot of good people out there who will somehow connect you to another person, you know. So just get your name out there. Just don't be afraid to speak about what you're doing.
Yeah. And the best thing?
Best thing, I get to work with students again. But also, you know, one thing I'm really glad that I can do is really celebrate my Vietnamese culture.
Yes.
Because as a Vietnamese American, I think I kind of lost my Vietnamese identity at some point. because of this whole culture. Things were moving by so fast, and things were kind of ageist.
Yeah.
Like at a certain age you need to do this, you need to do that. If not, America's gonna just kick you out. Or you're not gonna be here for the reasons why your parents brought you here.
Yeah.
So I was very much on kind of like an American identity. So this coffee roastery brought the opportunity to kind of celebrate my heritage again.
Wow,
my Vietnamese
that's
heritage,
powerful.
which I'm really, really confident that I'm gonna invest more time into learning
Yes.
about, my family and my culture. And at some point, we're gonna plan a trip to Vietnam to meet with a Vietnamese coffee farmer who we've been in contact with. I gotta tell you this.
Oh
So the Vietnamese farmer we actually got connected to because of a student.
my god. Oh my god.
So I told you guys earlier that the Kensington neighborhood has a lot of Vietnamese people.
Yes.
A lot of immigrants come to the area because housing is a little bit more affordable. And the student, when I told, it was two siblings, and I told them about what I was going to be doing after 12 plus, and they're like, okay, actually, we know a coffee farmer. I'm like, what? Tell me more. And they said like their parents owned, I guess, this hostel in the city. It's a Ho Chi Minh City. And one of the hostels, they had rented it out to a young coffee farmer. And he came into the city because he was looking to open up a cafe to serve his family's coffee. Because his family owned a coffee farm. So
You're gonna make me cry.
Yeah,
That's so powerful.
so they were the ones who connected me to that coffee farmer.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Full circle.
I know.
It's just a circle, and it's kind of weird because I'm like
It's
sitting.
not weird. It's supposed to happen.
Yeah, it's just.
This is your purpose.
I think
This
so.
is literally your purpose.
yeah.
It's
You're
nice
not-
hearing it from someone else.
No, it's crazy because you're not just giving back on a local aspect, but essentially on a global aspect too. So it's like, the fact that you're connected with that farmer, like, what are the chances that, you happen to be working at the school, you happen to be working with a specific student, and then they happen to know a coffee farmer from like what you're trying to promote, your culture. That's, wow. Oh wow, God's plan all the way.
I need to make an introduction for you. Do you know Kai Tran and the guys at Penji? They've got like a design shop in Camden.
No.
We had a dinner the other night. There was at Viet Huong in
Oh,
like
okay.
Washington.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice little meetup of people like all different backgrounds who are entrepreneurs, and they're all around like 20 something. So I'll make that intro for you.
So I'm
like
assuming you're in your 20s as well.
I'm 45. To round this out, what are some of your next steps? What are some of the big plans?
Yeah, so right now we are really focusing on launching our website because a lot of people have been asking for it, and that's something that we're definitely working on because Raymond actually, he built the whole 12 Plus website himself.
Oh, wow.
So he's going to be doing that for Cafe as well. I'm telling you, he's a skilled man. Especially as a nonprofit owner, you're trying to be as cost effective as possible, and you just gotta learn things. Just Google it, man.
Yeah.
Just Google it.
Figure it out.
So he graciously is doing our website. So really focusing on that, and then launching e-commerce.
Okay.
Because
Awesome.
I've already solidified kind of the profiles for our coffee. So we're also working on our packaging right now. It's gonna be kind of a soft launch of our packaging, but going to be released, and then we're working with Low Giant Creative, who has this program called If Lab, and yep. So we are one of their clients, so they're going to be doing our branding and marketing as well. So Irving, the amazing designer there, who does basically all the graphic designing for all their projects, he's going to be doing our packaging. So really focusing on that and getting coffee to customers who have patiently waited for our coffee.
You're not going to do any subscriptions, are you? Like coffee of the month, like you send it out, yeah?
We're going to do coffee subscriptions. We're also going to be sending coffee to a lot of offices, so a lot of offices have asked for our coffee. I think it's also nice having Vietnamese coffee there. I mean, we don't focus on just like Vietnamese coffee with condensed milk. We also have like your regular black coffee or house blend, but I think having a midday pickup with condensed milk is a nice treat. It's kind of like flan.
Yeah.
It's kind of like flan.
For those who know what flan is, it's kind of like, frozen custard.
Yep.
Last question. Well, thanks so much again. For
No,
joining
it's
us.
almost over?
Yeah.
No!
Tell everyone listening where you're located, even though it's not a storefront,
Yeah.
and then where they can find you online.
Yep, so our roasting facility is located in Macon Studios North in Kensington. So it's right across the street from the Harrogate Plaza. So we are on 3525 I Street, Philadelphia, PA, 19134. And you can find us on our social media accounts. So it will be Cafe Roasters on Instagram and on Facebook. And our website is coming soon.
And that domain would be?
CafeRoasters.com.
Cool. Any questions for us marketing related? Just so Dee and I both have like a marketing background. If you guys have any questions,
Anything that aligns with that.
How often do you think small businesses should be posting on their social media accounts? Should it be every single day, twice? Like, what is the frequency that you would suggest?
Well, engagement is really important with social media in general. So I feel like it depends on what exactly it is you're trying to push out.
Yeah.
If you have enough content to post daily, I would recommend to do so. And also when you do post, make sure you reply back to every single body that does comment. A technique that I use personally, and this is, anyone who's listening, they can do, that's like help build my social media too. So the way the algorithm is set up is, they'll have like any post that's up that has a lot of activity going on in it. So if you let's say you post something, you get like 5 or 6 comments right then and there, you reply back to those 5 or 6 comments right then, it's gonna be active right then and there, but then like within 10, 15 minutes, it's gonna get lost in the sauce. So if you have like if you have 6 comments, reply back to 2 right now, reply back to 1 in an hour, reply back to the other 2, like 2 hours later. So it's a way that it's showing engagement on your photo actively, and that way your photo can kind of just stay on the top of the feed. Because there's so many, the photos always get lost, and that's why sometimes if you go on Instagram, you may see a post from a day ago when you log on. It's like, why? It's because they still have activity going on it.
I see.
So that's like a little technique for anyone trying to go on Instagram, but yeah, and if there's someone that's handling your stuff, the same thing. Look at the hashtags. Look at what other small businesses are, coffees, and just kind of comment or and just be active on it. But if you have enough content to post daily, do so. But I don't want you to stress yourself out about that, because you want to make sure that the content you're posting is obviously it's quality. But again, when you post, just make sure you're active. Especially, I'm really big on just replying back to all your comments and stuff.
And you would suggest not replying to them all at once?
I won't, yeah. Okay. Especially when you're building your profile. So just kind of space it out. Okay, reply back to 1 now, the next one in another hour, and the next one in another hour.
I see that I'm busy.
Yeah. But really, it's just we're trying to beat this algorithm, so we still want our posts to always come up, because we do it all right then and there, then no one's gonna see it, because there's hundreds of posts that's always being uploaded on in seconds.
Right.
So you want to keep your posts active, and
I wouldn't say it's how often to post. I'd say how often to post good content.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
Right.
Because the more you post not good content, the worse you're going to be in the algorithm.
Right.
So you be deprioritized.
Your content's everything, and I feel. Personally, you have an amazing story behind the business of behind your business, and especially because it's a business for social impact, you need to really create content that explains that. Show that you're not just a typical coffee. You're not just this regular coffee shop that's opening up. Okay, we're the first Vietnamese. That's cool, but also guess what? We're doing this. So I really want you to emphasize the content you're creating. Make sure you're creating content that shows your partnership with the nonprofit. If you can get some visuals of the students, or just kind of if you want to do a one day a week and just kind of highlight a student. So when you get the students involved, you definitely want to show that on your profile, because you want people to come across. Their attention span is whatever. But if they see that, you may say it on your bio, but they're not going to pay attention to that. You want to actually show what it is that you're doing, how you're impacting the community. So I think and that's good, especially for potential investors or anyone who wants to potentially partner with you to see what you're doing. You really need to make sure you create content that's highlighting that as well, aside from your business aspect.
Right. And I think we were hesitant in featuring any of our students because one, we're not integrating them just yet.
Yes.
And the reason behind it is just revenue, right? We're just waiting for revenue so that we can actually pay our students, because that's something that we make sure that we do. So what type of, pictures or feature?
Well, since you haven't done that yet, I would say once it's been confirmed you're already going to bring the students in, like let's say you hire your first student, you should do a video. Kind of a video understanding who you are as a business owner and the background, your vision for your company. So this, you don't even have to use the student content yet. So kind of video, and it can be like a documentary type thing or something. You just sit in front of a white screen, a green screen, like, hey, my name is, this is what we're doing, and this is why my company is important. And you kind of want to show, and just like, and you want to show different ways, just like, you come from an education background. It's more than, you're really try to highlight being a Vietnamese American, and you really want to give back to the community. Like what you're doing is essentially going to change lives. So you really want to promote that on social media too, because you never know, again, who's going to come across your page and who will want to help share this. All it takes is one video to go viral as well. Sure. So people love a storyline. People love, they'll engage into it. So you want to make sure, like, don't be scared of sharing that story, because what you're doing is amazing. And I'm telling you, like, people will buy into it and be like, oh my gosh. So I want you to start thinking about the content you create, to not just highlight your business, but what you're doing on a community aspect too. Yeah.
Well, thanks again for everything. This is great. I think this is a good. Well, we got 50 minutes here. We got some good content.
Oh my God, I don't want this interview to end.
It's 7 o'clock. So there you have it, everybody. Tu Pham, thank you so much.
Yes.
Owner and co-founder of Cafe Roasters in Kensington. Great story, great mission.
Yes.
Shout out to you and everybody you mentioned. I think you got a lot of good stuff going on. It's been an amazing episode of Small Business Saturday from Mac, Delilah, and Tu here in Philadelphia. Thanks for everybody listening. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. A lot of good content coming up for you. A lot of really cool small businesses here in Philadelphia. And we'll see you next week.